And good afternoon, basketball fans, wherever you may be watching across the world. Welcome to Nagoya for tonight's game here in the Japanese B.LEAGUE between our hosts, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, and the visitors, the ALVARK Tokyo. This is a Central Conference matchup between one team in pole position to make the playoffs, while Nagoya Diamond Dolphins need to go on a run to ensure they give themselves a chance. The only hope they have at the moment is going for a wild card. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena. This is B.LEAGUE basketball. We'll take a look at the standings so far here across all three conferences in the Japanese B.LEAGUE. But as mentioned, ALVARK Tokyo right now, one of the top teams here in the B.LEAGUE, and looking very much like they're on their way to competing for what could be a second B.LEAGUE championship. Well, there are your standings right now. San Antonio Phoenix, after that second victory against Utsunomiya Brex, leaves them number one in the B.LEAGUE, while Mikawa Seahorses currently sitting in third place, currently taking that one of those two wildcard positions. There are your standings as we see at the moment, along with the Chiba Jets and Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, the next team behind them, but they're currently 4 victories and 4 defeats away from getting them. That is why this game tonight is so imperative for the home team. They must win here at home if they're going to ensure that run to try and get back to the B.LEAGUE playoffs. Well, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, of course, a team. Well, we'll start with ALVARK Tokyo, coached by the great Dainis Adamaitis, the former Lithuanian national team coach. And this team, you know, loaded for bear. So much talent. There's Ryan Rossiter, the naturalized Japanese player. But you look at their go-to players, Leonardo Mandel, the Brazilian national. But also look out for Kai Tevs and Taiki Osakawa. Well, Shito Ando will be the shooting guard tonight. He'll play in the backcourt alongside Kai Tevs. Seba Saiz will be the natural center. Well, Ryan Rossiter also will play, and Taiki Osakabe will be the third backcourt player. Well, Dainis Adamaitis did lose a top post player in Arturas Gudaitis, who did return to his Lithuania. Actually played last night in the FIBA Basketball Champions League. Of course, his team did lose to Unicaja, thus eliminated from Europe's continental competition. But now we're going to introduce the final players here for ALVARK Tokyo. ALVARK Tokyo, of course, one of the biggest victories they had here on the way was when they did defeat Utsunomiya Brex at home, and that was a monumental victory for them because that just showed everybody in the B.LEAGUE, of course, that they're here to compete. Because they had a very disappointing run in the playoffs, losing in the quarterfinals to the eventual runners-up, that being the Ruku Golden Kings. But no doubt this team has learned from their mistakes. Remember, ALVARK Tokyo, the #1 defensive team here in the Japanese B.LEAGUE, only conceding 71 points per game. Well, now let's enjoy the local entertainment here in Nagoya for your Nagoya Diamond Dolphins.
Look up in the sky, Taikan Jikan, Tonderu Mitai, Silent Cheetah. 43は神の使わせ場のエサシンスカエサタ車と車足ほど戦列キャンプのことなら張り戻転結 It ain't nothing like a, it ain't nothing like a, it ain't nothing like a time of Dolphins. It ain't nothing like a, it ain't nothing like a, it ain't nothing like a time of Dolphins. Yes! Represent Dolphins! 見た目は一見クールでプレーは熱いぜルークメイ
Well, a big shout out to the local staff here at Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, putting on an excellent show as we're introducing some of the key players. And you saw some of their import players, the likes of Zylan Cheatham and Scott Edgerton, but the big signing for me was Keita Imamura, who did win the B.LEAGUE championship in 2023 with the Ruku Golden Kings. Because you have to remember, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins did lose Yutaro Suda, who did went on to play for the Seahorses Mikawa. But they did replace him with one hell of a shooting guard, and as mentioned, that is Keita Imamura. Well, Takumi Saito is definitely one of the top point guards here in the B.LEAGUE, but also look out for former Chiba Jets player number 14, Takuma Sato. Well, no doubt it's going to be a battle tonight here for the Dolphins. Well, they're going to have to ensure for 4 quarters And offensively, they go up against the #1 defensive team here in the B-League, and that indeed is ALVARK Tokyo. Well, again, welcome everybody live here at the Dolphins Arena in beautiful Nagoya, Japan. B-League action. Remember, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins right now fighting for a spot here in the B-League playoffs. The only route they have at the moment is making it via the wild card potentially. And currently, they're 4 defeats behind Mikawa Seahorses, so tonight's win is so imperative. Well, we talked about number 43, Scott Editon, 45, Zylan Cheatham. But there's your head-to-head to look out for. The battle of the shooting guards tonight. Almost 14 points per game coming from the likes of KT Imamura, the former Ruku Golden Kings player, while Shuto Ando, again, just silently under 8 points per game. Both players near 30% from the three-point line. So tonight, expect big things from those two. Well, you just have to appreciate everything about professional basketball here in Japan. The B-League, indeed. The growth has been exponential. It's definitely become the fastest growing professional domestic international basketball league. And if you are new to Japanese B-League basketball, they're always live here on B-League International, the official YouTube platform. There's never ever an empty seat here in the house. Of course, we have some magnificent arenas, the Okinawa Arena, the likes of the Chiba Jets' new home arena as well, the Lala Tokyo Bay Arena, and not to mention Nagasaki Velka's new stadium as well. I mean, it's state-of-the-art, and got to give credit to the Dolphins Arena. Well, another B-League former champion. Of course, that man, he did win the B-League championship last season with Hiroshima Dragonflies, number 5, Isaiah Murphy. There's Keita Imamura, the player to look out for. Interestingly, Imamura lost in the finals last season to his current teammate, Isaiah Murphy. Those two played at the Yokohama Arena. Scott Editon, Zylan Cheatham, and Tenketsu Haramoto, the next players to come out. And there's their head coach, Scott Dennis. Because if you remember last season's playoffs, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins made it all the way to the semifinals, only to lose in Game 3, the deciding game to the eventual champions. And it's one of those what could have been. Well, Kai Tubbs is going to go up against Isaiah Murphy, Shuto Ando. Well, defensively, looks like he's going to go up against Naka Higashi. While KT Imamura defensively looks like he will go up against Taiki Osakabe. And the battle of the bigs will be interesting. Zylan Cheatham against former Eurobasket of 2022 champion. And that's going to be a very tough matchup for Ryan Rossiter, not to mention, I mean, he's very much a slashing big. And yeah, if you look at the referee in the middle, Takaki Kato, if you see on the B-League's official X page, they did an interview with him this week where he talks about the importance of health and fitness. Takaki Kato, a FIBA official referee who's officiated at Asia Cups, FIBA Basketball World Cups, and even Basketball Olympics as of last summer. One of the very best referees in the world. Well, Sebasai is the 2022 FIBA Eurobasket champion. Tonight he'll go up against Zylan Cheatham. Shuto Ando definitely ready for action tonight. And again, we'd like to welcome everybody. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena in beautiful Nagoya, Japan. This is Japanese B-League basketball. The Diamond Dolphins currently hosting ALVARK Tokyo, the two-time champions of the Japanese B-League. Well, tempo will be so crucial in the early stages of this game. Remember, as we mentioned, ALVARK Tokyo, the #1 defensive team here in the B-League, only conceding 71 points per game. And no doubt that's something the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins are going to have to battle around. Very much a volume three-point shooting team, the Diamond Dolphins. The question is how effectively they're going to get those open looks from the three-point line tonight. Well, now we're ready. Zylan Cheatham will jump this one with Sebasai's. Takaki Kato, a head referee tonight. One of the best referees in the world is going to throw this one up. The tip is underway. It will be ALVARK Tokyo with the first possession. Kai Tabs heavily matched up here with Naka Higashi. Osakabe now finding Rossiter. Rossiter goes in, just can't finish. Rebound secured here by Scott Editon. Early look not falling for ALVARK Tokyo. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins need to take this game very early to ALVARK Tokyo. It's always tough when you're up against the best defensive team here in the B-League. Team now finding Imamura. Oh, there's a turnover. And that's what we talked about, being the #1 defensive team here in the B-League. Well, I must give a big arigato gozaimasu to my colleague Kazuya Nishikawa, who does provide all the excellent stats here that provides you with all the information. And so Sakabe buries a three-pointer. Shito Ando, excuse me. Remember, only averaging just below 8 points per game this season here in the B-League, but he's definitely one of the top three-point shooters. Nakayagashi finds Cheatham. And an offensive foul is going to be called. Well, not a great start here from the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. I mean, this is why they are the #1 defensive team. Look at Taiki Osakabe stepping in there as the secondary defender, and he's just outside the restricted area. And that is basketball defense IQ at its very best. Tokyo patiently trying to build their offense. Tez finds Saiz. A little short there on the three-pointer. But now here come the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, still looking for that first field goal. Cheetah bumps, goes ISO. Simply too much to handle. First 2 points come inside the paint for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Something many teams do struggle against ALVARK Tokyo's defense. Sakabe now finding Seba Saiz. Well, there's the back pick for RESONA. Same offense, same shot. Shuto Ando, same results. Well, you think Nagoya Diamond Dolphins defense would have adapted. Well, that's going to be... Well, the first one must have been a 2-pointer. Maybe that was a 2-pointer. There's a nice penetration again by Nakahigashi. And again, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins finding points in the paint. Saiz heavily defended. Again finding Shuto Ando. Ando one more time again. This man is on fire at the moment. And a timeout needs to be called by Coach Dennis. 3 times the same offense, same shot, same player, and same result. Well, Shuto Ando has become lights out here in the first 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And now Coach Dennis. Well, you got to learn your mistakes. You don't go under the screen. Murphy's got to get tighter. Well, a timeout has been called. We're going to be back in just under 60 seconds, but so far it's become the Shuto Ando show. It's a third drive to the basket, and again, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins showing aggressive tenacity here against ALVARK Tokyo's defense. But can they stop Shuto Ando? Three-point deficit still. Good help side defense. Cheatham comes up with it. And now it's a 4-on-2 here for Nagoya. Finds Editon, but that's going to be a foul in transition by... That's by Shuto Ando, I believe. That's not a bad foul to give away. Well, there's a drive-by. The former B.LEAGUE champion who did play last season with the Hiroshima Dragonflies. Another great pickup for Coach Dennis, but still 4 wins behind the playoff spots. Cheatham finds Inomura. Gets fouled in the process, so 3 free throws coming up for KT Momora, another B.LEAGUE champion. So ALVARK Tokyo just being exposed for their defensive frailties, which we haven't seen too often this season. Quick release by the former Ruku Golden Kings player. Well, he's originally from the north of Japan in the beautiful city of Niigata, which is home of the Niigata ALVARKs, who currently now play in B3. He's had a magnificent time in his career playing in Okinawa for Ruku Golden Kings, and has also represented the Akatsuki Japan, the Japanese national team. And hopefully we'll see him this summer in Saudi Arabia, the 2025 FIBA Asia Cup. Second one good for Inomura. Inomura now making the free throws. Tying the game up at 9 apiece. So far, good tempo to this game. Now you see the heavy defense coming from Nakihigashi. Rosada looking to give this one up. Very uncomfortable with the ball in his hands. Rosada going for the mismatch. Finds sides. Goes in. Count it. Another and one. The 2022 Eurobasket champion now going to the free throw line. The foul indeed is on Scott Everton. Well, it starts with a mismatch. Nakihigashi having to match up with Ryan Rosada. Not the scenario Diamond Dolphins want to be in. Not sure what's happened there, but Takaki Kato, not sure if he called for a substitution or a warning of some sort, but we did have a delay in game, but nonetheless, a free throw coming up here for Sebasais. A chance to extend back to a 3-point lead with just over 6 minutes here in the first quarter. He's unable to convert. Diamond Dolphins down by 2. 3-pointer will put them in the lead. So there's a 3 by Nakihigashi. That's way off the mark. A good defense yet again by ALVARK Tokyo. Well, that's a good look for him. He's got to take that shot. He's got to build his confidence. They want to make a playoff run, contest for a B.LEAGUE championship. Those are the kind of looks Nakihigashi's got to go for, but he's got to make them. We'll find a roster on the roll. For the trademark jump hook, but missing off the back rim. Assist is now coming here from the Diamond Dolphins. Knowing they're up against the best defensive team is now Murphy for 3. Giving Nagoya a 1-point lead, now hitting his first 3-pointer. Well, due to the excellent defense by ALVARK Tokyo, these games when they play traditionally have been very low scoring. That's down to their defense. There's no question. It's undeniable. Cheetah comes out for the hedge. Finds sides. Open for 15. Misses again, wide open. Well, that's where Dolphins need to build the confidence. There's the bump, goes in, but he's unable to get the and one. But Zylan Cheatham now will go to the free throw line. So the foul indeed is on Sebasais. That's a great move. Hesitation. And that's the versatility of Zylan Cheatham. I mean, he is predominantly a center, a 4/5, but, you know, he's got no problems putting the ball on the floor and isolating against, respectfully, I mean this, the not-so-quicker bigs. Steve Zach subbing into the game for the first time, as well as Leonardo Mendel, so quite a big depth tonight for ALVARK Tokyo. Head coach Dinas Adamaitis rotating his players. Both free throws missed by Zylan Cheatham. There's also Nick Mayo coming into the game. Interesting fact about both Nick Mayo and Steve Zak. They both played in the same Final Four of the FIBA Basketball Champions League in 2022. That was held in Bilbao, Spain. At that time, Steve Zak was playing in Israel for Hapoel Holon. And an 8-second violation is going to be given. ALVARK Tokyo choking under intense pressure. And that is a rare solar eclipse. I don't remember the last time ALVARK Tokyo got caught on an 8-second violation, failing to get the ball into their own half. Well, it's a mental blunder, and every great team has got to ride the wave at the moment. Subbing into the game here for the first time for ALVARK Tokyo, number 2, Sota Okura. He's been a very good backup option there in the backcourt. Well, Saito goes for 3. And the threes just don't drop here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Tokyo looking to regain the momentum. A mismatch. Rosada tries to power himself in. Almost turns it over. Osakabe will find a 3. Unable to finish. Well, Mayo almost turned it over. Goes out of bounds. And ALVARK Tokyo will get this back. Zylan Cheatham calling for his head coach to go for a challenge, but I think that's very definitive. And I think you can see Coach Dennis saying to Mayo, why are you putting the ball on the floor? Get to the point guard. That's why I subbed in Takumi Saito. But it's another ALVARK Tokyo turnover. Well, that's now the 3rd turnover here in the first quarter for ALVARK Tokyo. Mayo pick and pop. 3 on target, but can't finish. Well, that's a much better look for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, but again, failing to make the 3-point. Now Mendel finds Steve Zak, former Nagasaki player, going up against Nick Mayo. Simple post move, gets his own rebounds. Rosada fancies this one against Zylan Cheatham, almost loses it. Okura's got to make something happen. Time winding down. That's going to be a foul against Zylan Cheatham, so very poor defensive play by the Dolphins because number 1, they gave up an offensive rebound. Number 2, there was little time left on the shot clock. And that's unfortunate for Zylan Cheatham. Well, he'll go to the bench. He'll take a breather. 3:14 to go as Tenketsu Haramoto subs into the game, as well as Zach Baranski. Haramoto did play for the Japanese national team under head coach Julio Lamas. Well, Zach Baranski, originally from the United States, spent his high school years in Japanese high school basketball. And another ALVARK Tokyo turnover. 3rd consecutive one. Nice penetration. Saito goes straight to the bucket. 3:01 to go here in the first quarter. 3-point lead currently to the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena. Beautiful Nagoya B.LEAGUE basketball. And we'll return in just under 60 seconds from this timeout. Well, you look at ALVARK Tokyo's previous games, the most impressive victory for them was at home when they did defeat Utsunomiya Breck's number 2 ranked team here in the B-League, right behind number 1 San Antonio Phoenix. And it was an epic 4th quarter comeback. Well, it's not a case they're being challenged. They're beating themselves up here at the moment. Too many costly turnovers. Court now smothered here on defense by Saito. Better offense by Tokyo. Ando pump fakes. Going for the third three. It's up and beautifully ties the game up at 14 apiece. Well, when in doubt, go to Shuto Ando. That might be his fourth three of the game, actually. He said he had 5 points, which there was 2 3-pointers, but that's an incorrection. Saito now. Again, buries that one, and it's back and forth. Both teams exchanging 3-point field goals. Well, Takumi Saito. Right now, no argument. One of the top Japanese point guards here in the B-League. There's no doubt about it. They almost turned it over again. But Tokyo keep it alive. Moransky. Oh, it's just going back and forth. It's a cookout here at the moment. A buffet. Well, Haramoto, he'll try his luck. Oh my goodness. Well, if anybody is live right now in Nagoya, somebody call the fire department because both teams are on fire as ALVARK Tokyo made that turnover number 6. Well, great defense by Nick Mayo, but he's going to go take a sub now. And it's the same story here for ALVARK Tokyo. They just don't take care of the basketball. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins giving this one back to Tokyo. Nice transition. Mendel finishes and now slices it down to a 1-point ball game. Well, you gotta love how ALVARK Tokyo convert turnovers into quick, fast break points. And the neutral fan definitely would like to see this game go right down to the wire. Haramoto. I think that's gonna be a foul called against Leonardo Mendel. And that's the final team foul for Tokyo to give away here in the first quarter. That's the right call. I think, you could argue, was it a jump ball? But the thing is, Haramoto did have the advantage against him. 2 terrific international players who've represented their national teams at very high levels of FIBA basketball. Haramoto kicks out. Another 3 coming up. Goes in and out. Now, I think that's going to be a foul against Steve Zach this time. So Scott Etherton will go to the free throw line. Well, Takuma Sato, the former Chiba Jets player, took the 3-pointer, and now he's gone to the ground. Well, no, it's not him that's gone to the ground. Because Zach's going to leave the game at 1:17 to go here in the first quarter. It was Haramoto that got pushed to the ground. Regardless, Etherton will take the free throws. Tokyo trying to regroup. Now the only team, along with Utsunomiya Brex, that have won 2 B-League championships. As Etherton gets the free throw to drop. Because the first ever season was 2016-17 of the B-League, and it was then known as Tojiki Brex, which now known as Utsunomiya Brex. And then ALVARK Tokyo won consecutive championships in 18 and 19, and also won the former FIBA Asia Champions Cup. Well, I must give another arigato gozaimasu to my colleague, the great Kazuya Nishikawa. Scott Etherton, number 43 for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, now number 4 here in the B-League in scoring, averaging 17.8 points per game. Another 3 goes missing for Tokyo, and that goes out of bounds. 58.8 seconds left here in the first quarter. Well, that was the first 3 made by Baranski. Not traditionally a 3-point shooter. That was a dime finding Leonardo Mendel. Potential 2 for 1 coming up in Nagoya. Higashi finds Haramoto. Time expiring here. Etherton draws another foul. It's going to be another trip to the free throw line. So another foul here against Sebasaiz. Let's have a look at the replay. Well, that's a good call. There's a swipe there, no doubt about it. Oh, it's tough to see from that angle, actually, but I would assume that's the correct decision. But number 2 against Saiz, so he'll go to the bench. Zach returns to the court. Well, when you talk about one of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball, Dainis Adomaitis, he's one of those. 2019, the former head coach of the Lithuanian national team, and he was a great player back in his day. Because if you've ever heard of a great player known as Jimmy Barron, who has the record for most three-pointers ever made in a FIBA Basketball Champions League game back in 2016 when he played for Neptunus Klaipėda, he said after missing his first three-pointer, after giving up his first looks, he didn't take it when he was wide open. Dainis Adomaitis said, hey, I signed you to shoot threes. And that night he set a record. And that goes to show the confidence that Dainis Adomaitis embarks in his plays. Zone defense now being exemplified by Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Nice backdoor play. Mendel goes in. He gets fouled. Tokyo down by 5. 9 were left on the shot clock. 22.5 left here in the first quarter, but they'll get 2 free throws. And that's one way to break down the 2-3 zone defense. Well, this is quite smart for Coach Dennis, bringing back in KT Mamora. Now, ideally why he's made this sub is because they're going to get the ball back with 22.5 most likely. And by bringing Imamura back in, all he's done for his offense is provide another three-point threat. So you want to put as many good shooters on the floor. Taketu Haramoto, Takuma Sato. A lot of options here for this final shot here for the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. But Imamura now playing the primary point guard role for this possession. Patiently dribbling down the clock. Now Nagoya getting into a half-court set. Nakigashi. 6 seconds left. Got to make something. Now Imamura. Imamura had the space. Now goes for it, and that's not going to go in at the end of the first quarter. Indeed, it is our hosts here at the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins Arena that lead this one by 3 points against ALVARK Tokyo. Well, this is B.LEAGUE basketball. We're going to take a 2-minute break here at the end of the first quarter, and we will return very shortly.
三菱電機、ヒュンメル、青木スーパー、岩谷東海、栗田商会、新月会浄土院、スズラン鍼灸接骨院、タマディック、中京テレビ放送、マシロホールディングス、リゾートトラスト、アクトホールディングス、NTT ドコモ、柴田貿易、東京エレクトロンデバイス、服部工務店、小坂工業所、みやび、その他多くの企業様にご支援いただいております。以上、クラブオフィシャルパートナーのご紹介でした。Well, if you are watching this game live on B.LEAGUE International, please welcome everybody. Currently, we're here in Dolphins Arena in beautiful Nagoya. We'd like to give some shout-outs. So shout-out to Della Red, 1905, Luciano Messina, also JT, Marklin. Thank you for your kind comments. Xie Wadapangyo. Welcome to Brack. FRM Derez. Interesting. Well, good start. No, they're missing the wide-open layup. Has been called, and I think they want to go to review on this one. Well, a big thank you to WOW as well. And of course, my guy Dapentol watching from Indonesia. Terima kasih. Sama-sama, baby.
think a foul's going to be called against Shito Ando. So now becoming the third Tokyo player to pick up 2 fouls here in the first quarter. Now getting a handoff. Finds Imamura. Tokyo's defense getting ready to collapse. Ready for that double team. Well, good defense. Tokyo don't have numbers. Foul's going to be called. This one's against Takuma Sato. Because if you remember Takuma Sato, he did actually play for... I said this already, he played for Chiba Jets, and he played for them in 2023 when they were heavy favorites after winning the Emperor's Cup and clearly having the best record in the B-League, failing to win the B-League championship. There's a penetration. It's a slight deflection, goes out of bounds. Good hands by Nakahigashi. But Tokyo will have it back, deep on the sideline. Ryan Rossiter, another player who, as mentioned, came to Japan in 2013 and spent the bulk of his career with Utsunomiya Brex. Didn't win the championship with him in 2022. Because the year he moved to ALVARK Tokyo is when they won the second championship. Nice play, can't finish. Rebound secured by Nagoya. Now they look to push. Nakigashi. It's another unforced turnover, so Baranski comes up. Tokyo have numbers. Baranski pump fakes. Good transition defense by the Diamond Dolphins. Vitebs gets it. Gets rejected. And Indiana follow up there by the big man. Well, when he played in Israel and he played in the Basketball Champions League in Europe, he was known as the Zach Attack. Become sloppy offense here from the hosts. Well, they need to play that very meticulous, organized half-court basketball. Well, let's give a shout-out to A. Chong, Chang, Anquay, Ndang Lamzi, Beza, Ang, and Bunbo Ngon Lam. Over a minute and a half played here in the second quarter. Down low, Zach, beautiful pass, he goes in. Oh, that play was simply sublime. Ryan Rossiter couldn't finish, but he will go to the free throw line. And that is Dinas Adamaitis style basketball at its best. You gotta remember, Adamaitis, head coach of ALVARK Tokyo. He was one of the top coaches in Europe, originally from Lithuania. Luke May picking up his first personal foul. First free throw missed here by Ryan Rossiter. Well, got to give another shout out to my colleague, Kazuya. Well, no, the great Kazuya Nishikawa, who's now just identified Ryan Rossiter at the free throw line. Now third in the B-League in terms of rebounding, 10.2 rebounds, and actually 6th in steals. Big arigato gozaimasu to my Tomodachi and colleague, Kazuya Nishikawa. Sega Sakamoto subbing into the game. He's going to play primarily the first point guard now here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Well, May being heavily defended. Now penetrates, goes in, misses the layup. Well, that was pretty much uncontested. Got to finish that one. The former University of North Carolina Tar Heel. May have taken a bump actually, but still good defense by ALVARK Tokyo. Both teams tied in at 24. Edson goes in, count it. He's going back to the free throw line. And the big man at the moment, the number 4 leading scorer here in the B-League, 4th ranked at 17 plus points per game. Well, simple pick and roll with KT Imamura. And that is a very hard action to go by, especially when you're up against the number 1 defensive team here in the B-League. Well, Everton now a chance to cut the deficit down. Well, build the lead, but again, a missed free throw. Well, we'd like to give some more shout-outs, so welcome everybody watching live here on B.LEAGUE International. Let us know where in the world you're watching this game. Shout-out to A. Trong. Nice penetration. Also, shout-out to Brak, FRM, Darez, Lukash, Zimovsky, Dapinsol from Indonesia. Wow. I assume you're watching from Taipei, as well as Wodapangyo, Mark Lin, Nihama. Wodajongwen Bufei Changhao. Well, looks like it's going to go possession back to Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Well, the foul was called against Taiki Osakabe. So possession indeed will go back to the home team, leading by 2 points. Just over 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. And as mentioned, traditionally, whenever Tokyo plays, the score is always relatively low. And that's down to the defense this team always exemplifies and exhibits. Well, the methodology has been very clear from Dinos Edemaitis. We win games on the defensive end. When you get into the B-League playoffs, as we saw last season against, well, the then defending champions Golden Kings, the defense goes out the window. That goes out of bounds. Well, Brak, FRM, Darez watch from New York City. Oh, my mother and father live in New York City. We're in New York, brother. Nice down low pass, and again, Isaiah Murphy. Last season B-League champion with Hiroshima Dragonflies, now 7 points. Giving Nagoya Diamond Dolphins a 2-possession lead. Well, this is the part of the game where neither team wants the tempo to slow down by giving away too many unnecessary fouls. They want to remain aggressive. Well, look at the dump down by Everton. Finds Murphy. And Tokyo's defense just got caught napping. 4-point lead currently here to Nagoya. Mendel now finds a bit of space. Another foul, so another trip to the free throw line. Well, emotions are definitely going to fly high here tonight. ALVARK Tokyo looking to protect their playoff spot. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins in search definitely of getting into the wild card. Now remember, 3 conferences here in the B-League, East, West, and Central. Top 2 teams in each conference will automatically qualify for the playoffs. Well, the final 2 positions will go to the 2 teams with the best record outside of the top 2 of those conferences, and those are known as the wild card. Wildcard spots currently taken up by Macau Seahorses and Chiba Jets. Imamura finds Everton. Pick and pop. 3 is up. Kendo good. Going to battle for offensive rebounds, but unable to finish. Well, that's a one-way to test who can defeat ALVARK Tokyo, who does win the offensive rebound count. Second chance points are always going to prove to be so imperative in this game. Osakabe, corner 3, got it! And that gives ALVARK Tokyo the 1-point lead. Well, they've struggled from the 3-point line since Shuto Hara's opener. And Everton remains to be dominant in the paint. And maybe, just maybe, Nagoya's got to make him the go-to option. Another 3 from Mendel. He's fouled in the process. And that's such a poor foul to give away. But it's great for ALVARK Tokyo. Oh, unnecessary. KT Imamura, why? Well, change coming into the game is at the moment. Takete Kato comes in at the moment. One of the second string point guards here for Coach Scott Dennis of the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Mendel currently at the free throw line. Well, we mentioned earlier the big victory for ALVARK Tokyo at home against Utsunomiya Brex, and it was actually Leonardo Mendel who gave them that victory with the final three-pointer. Brazilian international did feature last summer at the FIBA OQT and then represented Brazil at the Paris Olympics. Well, I'm not sure what Dinas Edemaitis is so animated about, but it's going to be a third free throw coming up here for Leonardo Mendel. Tries to give ALVARK Tokyo the 1-point lead. Second one, well, third one, no good. 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Both teams having their struggles from the charity stripe. Don't want to look back in this game and think the outcome could have been different had they made all the free throws. Nagigashi finds Luke May. Quick three. Three is up. Again on target, but unable to finish. Well, that's what he's predominantly known for. He was prior to coming to Japan. Played in the Spanish ACB. Also played in Turkey for the likes of Tofaş Bursa. Five here on the shot clock. Mendel finds Rossiter. Going out of bounds, and that's way off the mark. Offensive futility coming here from ALVARK Tokyo, but May now penetrates, goes in. Simply too tough to handle as the former UNC Tar Heel giving Nagoya Diamond Dolphins a 2-point lead. Well, I think a warning has been given here to Zylan Cheatham. I don't know what happened. Did he overstep the line when trying to defend the inbound pass? Zach Baranski getting ready to sub back in for ALVARK Tokyo. Tokyo right now in a battle of wits and nerves here. Even when you're above the team you're facing, the pressure does get to the top teams at this point of the season. I don't see what Zylan Cheatham did wrong. I think he's fine.
White ball, baseline again. White ball.
Well, Tokyo's going to get this one back. 5:02 here in the second quarter. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins putting on a bit of full court pressure. And they got no fouls to give. Any more fouls and Tokyo will go to the free throw line. Tokyo, on the other hand, defensively, they do have one foul to give. Now we're under 10. Mendel looks to penetrate. Kicks this one out. Another three goes flying, and Zach Baranski hits his second one. And giving ALVARK Tokyo the 1-point lead. Well, he is not traditionally known as a three-point shooter for this team, but this case starts in the corner, flashes free throw line extended, and sinks the triple. Timeout call by Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Second quarter, B.LEAGUE basketball. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena in beautiful Nagoya, Japan. We will be back in just under 1 minute. Well, welcome back. Just over 4.5 to go here in the second quarter. Of course, remember, whoever wins the B.LEAGUE Championship this season will feature in the FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. The continent's best competitions with May. Since nothing but net string music. Well, that's his third attempt and finally gets it to go. And just when one team builds a lead, the other one comes back with a three-point dynamite. Nagoya stepping up the intensity here in the defense. Now Mendel. Looking for an ISO against Cheetah. He'll fire a three. That one's a little too strong. Rebound secure by Murphy. Can the Diamond Dolphins extend here and make this a two-possession ball game? Nakigashi goes in. Gets rejected. Wow. Playing a bit of volleyball. Final seconds. Kato got to take this one. Puts it up, and again, it is raining three-pointers tonight here in Nagoya. Well, did I say call the fire department? Well, maybe get your umbrellas out. Confidence, simply terrifying when these two teams light it up. Remember, Nagoya last season made it to the semifinals of the B-League, only to lose in Game 3 of the fourth quarter against the eventual champions, Hiroshima Dragonflies. What could have been had those 10 minutes been a bit different? Osakabe made his last three. Tokyo missing the last two threes here in the moments. They've got to continue to find other ways to score. Biggest lead of the game. Well, the foul's going to be called against Zach Baranski. He had to commit that one, but the question is, was it on the ground or did they deem this a well, it doesn't matter because ALVARK Tokyo have put Nagoya into the penalty. Oh no, my correction, that's the fourth team foul. That's a good foul to give away by Baranski because Luke May was getting ready to make it a 7-point lead. Shutoando subbing back in now for ALVARK Tokyo. Defensively matching up with KT Momora. May now with a fadeaway. And again, this guy feeling the confidence. And everybody must be frightened as now he buries his second three-pointer, giving Nagoya Diamond Dolphins their biggest lead in the game of 8 points. 2:42 to go here in the first half. Timeout called by Dinas Adamaitis and ALVARK Tokyo. They have to talk this over, and we will return in just under 1 minute. Well, what can Tokyo build from this timeout? Trailing by 8 points. They gotta build some form of identity. Thames may have just got away with a carry. Thames tries to find an opening. Kicks out to Mendel. Three is up in the corner. And again, they're just not falling here at the moment. Third consecutive miss from the three-point line for ALVARK Tokyo. Well, May now. He'll spot up the three again. Oh my goodness! This man doesn't look like he's going to miss anytime soon. 11-point lead now to Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, and 11 points for the former UNC Tar Heel, Luke May. Well, Mendel's trying to defend him as best he can. He's chased him. But Luke May, that release, that footwork, he gets his shot off just so quickly. Rosada subbing back in for ALVARK Tokyo. The offensive futility still persists. But can they end the barren spell? Can they build and reassert themselves here in the offense? Nice penetration by Tevz. Finds sight. Wide open. And another one. Fourth consecutive missed three-pointer now for Tokyo. Quick one. Well, he had to go for that. He's feeling the confidence, no doubt about it. But Tokyo with another chance to build into the chip into the deficit. This is better for Tokyo. Foul's going to be called on the ground. It's on Luke May. So now free throws coming up. They've had their misses tonight, but here's where Tokyo's got to try to battle back in. Get to the free throw line. Get to the charity stripe. Second foul against Luke May. 1:21 to go here in the first half. While both free throws converted by Sebasais. That's a man who also won a B.LEAGUE championship with Yuki Togashi in 2021 again, well, with the Chiba Jets. Defeated his teammate Ryan Rossiter in the final. Kato now, lob pass, finds May. It's good recovery defense from ALVARK Tokyo. It's now Imamura. And that's going to be a 24-second violation. Simply exhilarating defense by the #1 defensive team in the B.LEAGUE. So with 56.9 left here in the first half, ALVARK Tokyo could potentially go for a 2-for-1. Scott Editon re-entry play to try and boost up the offense and the defense here for Coach Scott Dennis. Build up now from ALVARK Tokyo. Tevz finds Rossida. Nice dump down. They couldn't get the points in the paint. Baranski goes for a fadeaway, but they get something. And that's still the paint. And that's excellent because now 11 seconds difference between both game and shot clock. Tokyo need one stop, then they need one final offense. Now Imamura. Edson, there's a turnover. And now Tokyo can't have the final play, but they're going to go all the way. Reverse layup. Oh, majide. Sugoi. Hontoni. What a play by Baranski. Well, deep three, Imamura. And that's not going to go. And that is the end of the first quarter. The Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, they've led by as many as 11, but the 6-0 run from ALVARK Tokyo cuts it down to a 5-point deficit. Wow, what a reverse layup. Well, fans, it's halftime. We're going to take a break for 15 minutes. We'll return very shortly. Go get a drink. Go get something to eat, but don't go anywhere too long. We will return for second half. B.LEAGUE basketball. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena between ALVARK Tokyo and Nagoya Diamond Dolphins.
Are you guys ready for the ladies? Please welcome Diamond Rouge! Give it up for Diamond Rouge! 大きな大きな拍手をお送りください。
さあ、それではこれよりハーフタイムイベント DD とルークの運動会サポーティッドバイヒューメロ開催します。ルールを皆さん説明します。これから DD そしてルークにはアウェーエンド側のスタート地点からコースに設置されました2つのアトラクションをクリアしてもらい、最後にセンターに戻ってきて空戦の先に割った方が勝ちということになっております。リリーいけそう？よし、ルークもいけそう？気合十分です。そして挑戦してもらうアトラクションはぐるぐるバット、10回の棒くぐりとなっております。会場の皆様には事前に DD とルークどっちが勝つか予想してもらっていると思いますが、その予想が的中した方には抽選でキュンメルプレイファイルソックス2足セットと DD とルークとのスリーショットの撮影券をプレゼントさせていただきます。さあ、それでは DD とルーク真剣勝負で頑張ってくださいね。ではスタート位置お願いします。さあ、みんな自分が投票した方 DD とルーク応援してくださいね。さあ、それでは行きましょう。よーいスタート。まずはぐるぐる棒です。
省エネ技術で CO2 削減に取り組んできました。そして今ここは建物丸ごとゼロエネルギーを実現したビル。どうやってゼロにしています？街へ社会へ広がることにカーボンニュートラルの実現が近づく。未来へ100年サステナビリティ。三菱電機。
品質と価格で暮らしのお手伝い。アークスーパーには新鮮なお肉やお魚、お野菜がいっぱい。お買い物をするならみんなの隣、アークスーパーで決まり。品質と価格で暮らしのお手伝い。アークスーパーには新鮮なお肉やお魚、お野菜がいっぱい。お買い物をするならみんなの隣、アークスーパーで決まり。
我々も全力で発散します。働く人々、学ぶ人々、海から DX まで、ドルフィンズと共になくてはならない存在となる。栗田商会。
トアスリート一般人の体らしい能力の最大発揮に体のケアは必要不可欠。いつも肩こり、頭痛、サラリーマン、学生も体の不調があれば能力を発揮できない。名古屋市内最大級接骨院がある中日区を中心に全国30店舗展開。私たちにお任せください。
国内初の宇宙ロケット、世界初の量産ハイブリッドカー開発など、現在もさまざまな最先端プロジェクトに参画。これまでも、そしてこれからも、社会の変革に貢献し、チャレンジを続けていく。未来に向け、さらなる発展を目指して、想像を力に変える、タマリック。
ハルト、よくしてみた。そうか、しちゃった。
4チャンネルしてみた。テレビ、ニュース、中京テレビ、大会。
地元の人を笑顔に。ジャッジ。火曜夜7時。お盆マンス。火曜のピッカピカ。遊ぶねー。
Welcome back, everybody. We're live here at the Dolphins Arena in beautiful Nagoya, Japan, where currently it's a slender 5-point lead here to our host, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. The Diamond Dolphins, they've led by as many as 11 points. There's a replay of Takeki Kato going coast to coast or a layup in transition. Well, Shito Ando, so far 4 3-pointers in this game. He has been indestructible, but he's been a little bit quiet in the second half of the first half, I should say. Well, Taiketsu Haramoto hitting his first 3 of the game, but you know, a lot of this has been down to Luke May's performance coming off the bench for the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Second quarter really was owned by the home team. Scott Edison having some good plays thus far. Well, Nagoya at the moment not in the playoff picture. They're currently 4 victories behind Mikawa Seahorses, who currently take up that wildcard place along with the Chiba Jets. That was a 3 by Taiki Osakami, giving ALVARK Tokyo the slender 1-point lead. Albaransky as well, not traditionally a 3-point shooter, but he has hit 2 of them tonight. And the best offensive team here in the B-League currently being challenged by a team chasing them here in the Central Conference. Now it's got this 3-pointer. Well, this is where it began the Luke May show. He was on fire in the second quarter in the early stages. Welcome, everybody, again, live here at the Dolphins Arena. This is B.LEAGUE basketball as we take a look at some of the key stats. Both teams posting 7 3-point field goals. ALVARK Tokyo shooting 50% from the perimeter, and both have taken 10 and above free throw attempts at the moment. But indeed, it is the points with inside the rainbow that make up the difference right now, giving the home team. Now remember, ALVARK Tokyo did finish the first half on a 6-0 run, and a very positive note for both ALVARK Tokyo and Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Both of them below 10 turnovers. Well, rebounds have come into fruition. I said this, if you're able to compete against ALVARK Tokyo, the #1 defensive team, and win the offensive rebound count, you give yourself a chance of winning. The question right now for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, can they further play like this in the next 2 quarters? ALVARK Tokyo, them and Utsunami Brex, the only teams in the history of B-League basketball to ever win 2 championships. As you can see, Shito Ando and Luke May currently in double figures. Both players do have 3 well, Ando has 4, Luke May has 3 3-pointers. Well, Steve Zach leading the rebound count. Takeki Gato currently now at 5 assists. Well, Baranski's 2 3-pointers indeed have put him into double figures as well. Takeki Gato, Scott Edison 1 field goal away from getting into double figures. But you know one thing, this game was always going to be about the defense. Quiet night so far for KT Momura. The only points he has scored have been from the free throw line, where he was found in the process of taking that 3-pointer in the first quarter. But Shito Ando slightly better here in the key player matchup.
さあ後半戦ドルフィンズディフェンスから再開ディフェンスからドルフィン
That's a tough pass by Ryan Rossler, but a beautiful penetration. And now make it an 8-0 run here from ALVARK Tokyo if you take into consideration the end of the first half. Nakigashi, nowhere to go here. That's a better play. Down low finds Ellerton. Probably one too many passes here from Diamond Dolphins. But again, the suffocated defense by ALVARK Tokyo, the reason why they're #1 here in the B-League. Well, Rossiter's got the mismatch. Let's go for a tough turnaround, but he makes it anyway. And with Dolphins led by as many as 11, now that lead's cut down to 1. Rossiter with his first field goal tonight. Murphy trying to create bumps. Great defense by Osakabe. Nakigashi's got to force number 3, and again sinks it. 8-3 of the game here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. First one tonight for Nakahigashi. Well, ALVARK Tokyo won't be disappointed with that one, because they defended that play as better as they could have done. Well, the foul's going to be called. I believe this one is against, it's on Nakigashi. It's an unfortunate set of circumstances there, but that's the right call if you ask me. Now we're under 10 here. Ando with 12 points. Right now leading for Tokyo. Osakabe back to Ando. He's got to shoot this one. Well, they beat the shot clock to get the offensive rebound. Ando goes in, finds Rossiter. Now he's got 5 points with his second field goal. Well, that's what Zylan Cheatham's got to do. Get those second chance points. Well, Edgerton wasn't ready for the roll. And now Tokyo can tie the game up. Maybe take the lead with a 3-pointer. Rossiter going for a patient post-up. Another foul's going to be called against Isaiah Murphy. It's been a better start here to the second half for ALVARK Tokyo, no question. But is this the play they're going to tie things up? Can we get level? Maybe take the lead. I think another foul is going to be called against Isaiah Murphy. Well, this is tough. No doubt. This is tough. Because this could have gone either way. Watch the rebound. Well, you know what? No, I'm going to say that's a good call. That's a very good call. Because Murphy, unfortunately, yes, does get tangled up, and there's a swipe when he goes for it. Rossiter does have the advantage. Now Sykes, unable to level things up. Can Nagoya Diamond Dolphins keep a little bit of breathing space between them and ALVARK Tokyo? There's a penetration. It's going to be another turnover, but no, it's going to remain possession to Nagoya. Well, great defense by Taiki Osakabe. Just reaches in. Hand in the cookie jar at the right time in the right space. There's a bum. Nakigashi comes up with the offensive rebound. Nagoya now looking like they're struggling. Edgerton spins, but that's going to be another foul against Taiki Osakabe. We've seen that a lot tonight, a lot of switches and mismatches. And I just feel that ALVARK Tokyo have slightly been better at taking advantage. And I've also said many times tonight that Phil Nagoya will make life much easier for themselves if they get more post looks for Scott Edgerton at the double block. Well, another foul's going to be called. This one's against Leonardo Mendel. Team foul number 2 against Tokyo here in the third quarter. As the penetration goes in with a floater and another miss attempt. And Tokyo for the second time can try to level things up. They can also take the lead. What they go for, we're gonna find out. Here's that switch. Again, the mismatch. RESONA goes to the fadeaway and now levels things up at 47 apiece. And I think Nagoya Diamond Dolphins are going to call timeout. That 11-point lead has completely disintegrated as Tokyo right now being led with inside the paint. Starts with the ball screen. Now they get the switch. Nakigashi's got to match up here, RESONA. And that's only going to be one outcome. Well, we're going to come back in under 60 seconds. Tie game. Well, we're back here. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. ALVARK Tokyo have been able to tie things up. Nagoya need a response here offensively. Everton now looking to attack. Kicks out. Nakigashi pump fakes. There's a three by Imamura. It's up. That's a good look, but he's unable to finish. That's a turnover, but can Nagoya get numbers ahead? They haven't done a great job of converting turnovers into fast break points. It's another area filled with now a deep three by Imamura, and that's just way off the mark. Well, it didn't go out of bounds. Tokyo come up with it, and now they have the chance to take the lead. Well, there they have it. The three is up, and it's good. Well, he's been known to take those from time to time. RESONA, who was scoreless from field goals in the first half. Nagoya right now struggling. The offensive utility has reverse roles here in the second half of play. But here comes Tokyo, looking to extend. Good defense, but they take the gamble. Nagoya's got a man down. Mendel, wide open, three, nails it. 6-point lead, the biggest lead for ALVARK Tokyo. Well, it's going to be another turnover. May missing. And this is incredible. At the moment, Nagoya just can't buy a bucket. Let's have a look at the replay. Here's a three-pointer, what a dime coming from Kai Tevs. Finding Leonardo Mendel. When you take those gambles, you got to know if you don't get them, you make your defense so vulnerable. And that vulnerability against a team as good as ALVARK Tokyo is always going to punish you no matter what. Remember, Nagoya have to win tonight. They don't want to go more games behind the wildcard, depending how. 9-point lead. It is simply the ALVARK Tokyo show. And Coach Scott Dennis has got to call timeout with 3:46 to go here in the third quarter. His team currently down by 9. Well, that was the second timeout called by Nagoya Diamond Dolphins here in the third quarter. Currently, they trail by 9 points. Central Conference matchup between two very good teams. But as it stands currently here, it's only ALVARK Tokyo in the playoff picture. Naki Higashi way off the mark. Silent Cheatham gets the offensive rebound. Tenketsu Haramoto has made 1 3. And it's just not dropping here for Nagoya. Well, they are really struggling offensively here in the third. Well, they've got to be able to defensively match up here with ALVARK Tokyo. Mendel finds size, goes in. Now indeed, did he get it off in time? I think he did. Well, great offense by ALVARK Tokyo. Their first double-digit lead of the game. Well, it's amazing how quickly the tide can turn here in the B-League. Another 3 by Iwamura that cuts down to 8. And they, well, it's actually Takuma Sato, excuse me. Well, Takumi Saito, the former Chiba Jets player, giving his team a little bit of belief. Well, Sainz has taken a few threes and again continues to miss them. That's not predominantly his role, but what can Nagoya build? Hesitation play. Another 3 in the corner. Buries that one. And the former Chiba Jet star, Takumi Saito, cuts the 11-point deficit down to 5. And now a timeout's called by Dinas Adamitis as ALVARK Tokyo. They've got a problem. It's Takumi Saito. Well, he'll start it with Seiga Sakamoto going baseline. And maybe there's a bit of fight. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, 3 3-pointers here in the third quarter. There's the second one, with the first one coming from Takumi Saito. Well, we'll return in just under 60 seconds. B-League basketball. We're live here in the Dolphins Arena here in Nagoya. It's a big offense coming up here for ALVARK Tokyo. They've got to show their resilience. But a foul's going to be called. I believe it's on Tenketsu Haramoto. I believe that's going to be the third team foul against Nagoya here in the third. Not the worst foul to give away, but you like the energy here from Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. It's amazing what 2 3-pointers can do to the spirit and the confidence of a team. Well, it was on Seiga Sakamoto, excuse me. So my apologies to Tenketsu Haramoto. Now Mendel. Tap. Oh, again. That's unfortunate, but good job by Tokyo. And this time Haramoto does get called for the foul. And that's the final team foul for Nagoya to give away. Well, great seal-off by Steve Zach. Oh, no, that is penalty. So free throws now. So maybe not a good foul to give away. Or maybe it is a good foul. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's a bit breezy, a bit windy in here maybe, but I think the aircon definitely has been turned on. Over 2 from the free throw line. I think that was a good foul. Thing now for Nagoya. 90 seconds under. No fouls to give. Well, I see a lot of questions on the live YouTube chat. Tell me who is going to win. You know, if I could see the future, I'd be a millionaire, but I don't know. Just enjoy the game, I guess. Sideline ball here to Nagoya. Sakamoto. Finds Cheatham. Cheatham finds. 4-3 here in the third quarter, and now it's only a 2-point deficit. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins making a run here, challenging ALVARK Tokyo, the #1 defensive team in the B-League. Tokyo, no doubt, trying to chase a third B-League championship. Almost took it over, and they do just that. Wow, this game is really becoming a roller coaster of emotions. And now, indeed, Nagoya could potentially go 2 for 1. Sloppy offense there from ALVARK Tokyo. You kind of feel the way this game has gone here in the third. Nagoya, but it's got to be an offensive foul. And if it's on Tenketsu Haramoto, that's going to be a second foul here in the third quarter. Well, that's his third foul in total. Now, it is an offensive foul, so it's a team control foul, which means no free throws. Ideally, if you're Nagoya, you want to defend here as well as possible to get that last possession of the 24 seconds. Which I think they're going to do, but they got to get a stop now. Tokyo just need to keep on putting points on the board. There's another step back, but there's another foul, so Osakabe will go to the free throw line too many times tonight. Fouls have been given away on three-point shots, and the bulk of them have indeed come from from Nagoya. ALVARK have given one away. We saw that in the first quarter against KT Mamura, but Seiga Sakamoto, it's a poor decision to make. He's a great player, no doubt about it, a rising talent, but you've got to be a little bit more composed. Perfect from the free throw line. Taiki Osakabe. Changes coming in for ALVARK Tokyo as Kohei Fukuzawa subbing into the game for the first time tonight. Wasada re-enters play. 20.8 left. Zylan Cheatham now looks like he wants to go isolation mode. But they turn it over. Tebs comes up with it and now makes it a 7-point lead. Very careless handoff. Cheatham attacks. That's not a bad foul to give away because it's not a shooting foul, so the foul's on the ground and they're not in the penalty. Well, that's good defense by Kai Tebs. Remember, 2020-21, he was the B-League's favorite rising star when he played for Utsunomiya Brex. Haramoto, time, space, and that's not going to go. And ALVARK Tokyo will head into the final fourth quarter with a 7-point cushion here against Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins trail by as many as 11 points, but it was a 3-point shooting by Takumi Saito that gave them the inspiration to try and get back in. But they find themselves down by 7. 10 minutes to decide who will win this one. We're live in the Dolphins Arena here in beautiful Nagoya, Japan. B.LEAGUE basketball. We'll be back in just under 2 minutes.
さあ最終クォーターみんなで掴みに行こうぜ。ドルフィンズオフェンスから再開。ゴードルフィンズ、みんなで力を合わせようぜ。Let's go!
Well, here we go, fans. Final 10 minutes. Nagoya down by 7. That's Haramoto, Isaiah Murphy, and another turnover. Good defense here by Steve Zak. Not quite the start that Nagoya wanted here in the fourth quarter. This is what Tokyo does to you. They wear you down. Mendel. Separation, mid-range. Haramoto does enough to put him off. Well, it's actually even more, excuse me. You gotta get something from this offense. You want to begin the fourth quarter on a high note. Nakigashi goes in. Tough finish. Right against Steve Zak. 7 points for Nakigashi. That cuts it down to a 5-point ball game. Mendo gets in the lane, tries to kick out, finds Ando, high three is up, nothing but net. Well, that one went over the top of Mount Fuji and came down with a bit of snow. And that's his first field goal here in the second half. 15 points for Shutohara. I mean, look at the arc on this. If anyone's a mathematician, that is a negative parabola. Nakigashi scored the last bucket. Goes baseline. Now the miss attempt for Nagoya. Tokyo scored a rebound. Orlando being heavily defended, but he's able to break down the pressure. That's going to be the second 8-second violation of the game for ALVARK Tokyo. And that is incredible defense by Nagoya. I think Ando may have just taken a shot, and they've got to do a better job of avoiding these costly turnovers. Because now Nagoya will get another chance. Well, they don't want the same offensive utility they had in the third. first quarter. Another foul committed. And it's on Steve Zach. Or is it on Ryan Rossiter, actually? I think that's going to be called against Rossiter. No, it's on Zach. I was right. Second personal foul. But again, the tough defense from ALVARK Tokyo. Back to Edison. And they almost turn it over. So 5 seconds left here on the shot clock for Nagoya. Well, the rotation of this team, how they defend every ball screen. They're just so good. Well, ALVARK Tokyo players indicating 5 seconds. Nobody wants to pick up a foul now. Well, we got to get it in bounds. Imamura. Quick three is up. It's just way off the mark. Well, he's had some great games this year, no doubt about it. He's averaging just under 14 points. But it's very much a different role than when he was playing alongside Ruichi Kishimoto at the Ryukyu Golden Kings. And if that's Al Murphy, that's foul number 4. Well, no change. Murphy's going to remain in the game. Rossiter goes in. Another and one. And a chance to make it yet again. An 11-point lead to ALVARK Tokyo. Well, Nagoya's defense again. No communication. Scott Etherton left helpless. Nobody came out to switch. And Rossiter just had a free runway on that mix-up on the back screen. Nagoya's got to be better than this if they want to make it to the playoffs. Point lead currently here to ALVARK Tokyo. As the penetration goes in and he finishes. While Seiga Sakamoto slicing the defense, now getting into double figures. Remember, Murphy's got 4. Doesn't want to pick up a 5th one. Well, Mendel just goes simply all the way and nobody came out to stop it. Tough finish. Takati Kato also in the lineup here for Nagoya. Imamura penetrates. Finds Kato. Penetrates. Another foul committed, so a trip to the free throw line here for Nagoya. 6:44 to go in the 4th quarter. It's a bit of a sloppy foul by Kai Tevz. Well, hello and welcome to everybody watching live here on B.LEAGUE International. And if you are watching this game live, please let us know where in the world you're watching this game. And also, which team are you supporting? Are you supporting ALVARK Tokyo or are you supporting Nagoya Diamond Dolphins? Please don't ask in the live YouTube chat who's going to win. Nobody can see the future. Kato now a chance to make it a 9-point deficit. And this is a second free throw. ALVARK Tokyo definitely have all the momentum. The question for them is holding on to the lead. It's just avoiding the backcourt violation. Mendel patiently waiting to wind the clock down. No need to rush anything. Draws another foul, so it's another trip to the free throw line for ALVARK Tokyo. Well, ALVARK Tokyo, just like Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, have had their inconsistencies from the charity stripe tonight. He probably could have closed his game out a long time ago as he makes the second one. Rosada just going to the ground. 11-point lead yet again. Under 6.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Another three by Imamura. That's a little too short. Mendel comes up with it. But again, decides to take this one away from the transition, slowing this one down. Very typical of ALVARK Tokyo style. Mendel kicks out. Osakabe. Now they get the switch on defense. Osai is caught in a double team. Keeps alive, he stumbles. Rosada fadeaway. But there it was, the hand of God from Sebastian Thais. De Madrid, baby. And it's these killer plays that are just closing the door against Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Imamura finds Edison, goes into the floater. Luke May offensive rebound, put back is good. Second chance point, still time for Nagoya. But they're gonna have to rely on the defensive instincts. Set down by 11. Well, looks like an offensive foul is gonna be called against Thais. And that time Murphy gets the benefit of the doubt. Let's have a look at the replay. Well, that's a good call. Definitely a moving screen. Well, Zylan Cheatham getting ready to come back in the game. Third foul here for Sebastian Thais. Imamura has had his struggles. Still just can't fire. He's attempted 4 3-pointers here in the third quarter, and he hasn't made any of them. But you got to credit that down to the defense of ALVARK Tokyo. They've made life very difficult for Nagoya in the backcourt. Six on the shot clock. Ross to the back door. Size goes in. He wants the M1 as he puts it back to a 13-point ball game. Too big, too strong. And El Señor Amigo Saiz is simply muy bueno. Timeout called by Coach Scott Dennis. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins down by 13. 4:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll be back in just under 60 seconds. Well, now with just over 4 minutes, if ALVARK Tokyo, if Nagoya is going to make a comeback, they've got to do it now. Not a lot of time left, that's for sure. And this three, and that's just where it's gone wrong. And Zylan Cheatham getting called for the foul. And that's going to be the final team foul here against Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. And it's just not looking good at this stage. I hate to say it. What could have been a great matchup to the end. Looks like ALVARK Tokyo are going to prevail. Well, they've got to deal with the pressure. Remember, Nagoya's got no more fouls to give. It's now we're under 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter. Zylan Cheatham getting the switch. There's the take of the lane. He gives the rejection. And that's going to be a 24-second violation. It looked like a good move from Sota Okuda, but Zylan Cheatham said, not in my house. Nagoya don't have time. And there's another block. Well, good defense coming from Shuto Ando. Well, it's another one of those games. ALVARK Tokyo only give away 71 points per game. They simply suffocate their opponents. Good hands-on defense. Goes out of bounds. And Nagoya will get it back. But the question is it too little too late? That's a problem. Well, a timeout's going to be called by Coach Scott Dennis. 3:04 to go. They need some miracle if they're going to come back in this one. We will be back in just under 1 minute live here at the Dolphins Arena in Nagoya. B.League basketball. Nagoya Diamond Dolphins down by 13 against ALVARK Tokyo. Well, it's either now or never. Nagoya's definitely struggled here in the fourth quarter. The three-point shooting hasn't been so consistent. And there's 4 crucial three-pointers that got them within 2 points when they went down by 11. But now they're down 13. Murphy penetrates, goes in, gets the at one, and now he can cut it down to a 10-point ball game with 2:50 to go. 9 points tonight for Isaiah Murphy. Well, kind of felt he should have gone for the three-pointer, but that's not his forte. He has made one this evening, though. But it's a big play coming up. Here comes the full court press. Remember, Nagoya's not got any fouls to give. Well, technically they could. If they are disciplined, they don't need to reach here. Nakigashi doesn't want to send Tevs to the free throw line. There's a screen. Ando penetrates. Tevs, first three he's taken tonight. A little short. There's another foul, so it's going to be a trip to the free throw line. And that's unfortunately where you've got to win the rebound count here against ALVARK Tokyo. You're forced them into a tough shot, but you give up the second chance points. Only the second foul for Scott Everton, but that said, 227, down by 10. Another trip to the charity stripe here for ALVARK Tokyo. Point lead currently. Tokyo trying to hold on. Nagoya don't have a lot of time here. They've got to make everything quick and spiff. Mamora. Evanson fakes a handoff. Goes in. Finishes. Back to a 10-point ball game. Now we're just over 2 minutes. Tokyo don't need to panic, but they don't need to rush either. They have the double-digit lead. One thing that's definitely for sure about Tokyo's offense, everything is all about patience. Well, there's a turnover, and now they're going to make it an 8-point ball game as he makes the layup. 1:43 to go. 9 points to 9-4. Nakahigashi. And that time the gamble pays off. Another double team comes. Nagoya is able to regroup, matching up man to man. Below 90 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Ando from no man's land buries the three-pointer. Might have just set Ayasu Minasai. Shuto Ando. Nakahigashi can't get it. Tokyo come up with it. That might just do it. Kickball violation is going to be given against Luke May. ALVARK Tokyo will get it back, leading by 11 with 1:05 left. Only had 4 in the first half. All of his points have come from the perimeter. Shuto Ando, 2 here in the second half, is cooking tonight. Another penetration, Ando again, 3. Oh, baby! Are you kidding me? Shuto Ando is on fire. 14-point lead. Tokyo very much will take the victory tonight. He has been too much to handle. Well, it has become the Shuto Ando show. 7 threes this evening. And he continues to cook the tempura. While free throws coming up here for Isaiah Murphy. 42.7 left. Unable to finish. Looks like a line violation against Isaiah Murphy, so Tokyo will get it back. Could very well seal the deal now. Tokyo, for them, it's about improving their win record to get a better chance of home court advantage. When the Chiba Jets went through their injury issues at the beginning of the season, Tokyo were the #1 team. But San Antonio Phoenix, rightfully so, took that accolade. Tevs penetrates. Ando's been on fire. Now penetrates. Goes for a tough fadeaway. Still doesn't have a 2-point field goal tonight, but the putback is good. The fadeaway by Leonardo Mendel. Well, D3 by Nakigashi, and that's just way off the mark. And unfortunately, that's how the fourth quarter is indeed gone for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Well, what a performance from that man, Shuto Ando. Incredible scenes tonight. Well, Murphy puts on the full court pressure, but it's all going to be a consolation. It's actually Luke May, excuse me. Gets the and one with 6.4. The only thing he can do now is cut it down to a 13-point deficit. Tokyo's still going to take the win regardless. Well, fans, we thank you for joining us here at the Dolphins Arena in Nagoya. At the end of this one, it will be ALVARK Tokyo who win by 13 points against Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. They win 86-73. While this team was tested, they went down by 11, but unfortunately, in the case of Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, they just couldn't come back in the fourth quarter. They did get it back to 2 in the third. And it was that man, Takumi Saito, who gave them the spark of a comeback. But without Takuma Sato tonight, I mean, you could argue that they were one player down, but a playoff picture continues to look bleak here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Dinas Adamaitis, his team wins. We're going to get words from the game's most valuable player, and we'll also hear from Coach Adamaitis to get his thoughts. But a great victory nonetheless for ALVARK Tokyo. Well, we'll also run back the best moments of the game. We'll look at the best highlights, and we'll also review the top stats here from this game. But they will head back to the capital city, nonetheless, with another win. Well, just a terrific game tonight for ALVARK Tokyo, showing the persistence, excuse me, exactly why they're going to be a team to contest for a B.LEAGUE championship this year. Well, you can hear the ALVARK Tokyo fans who've made the journey here to Nagoya. 21 points tonight. 7 3-pointers made by Shuto Ando. He was on fire. Or as they like to say old school, on fuego. Well, the next game for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, they'll host Shiga Lakes. Shiga Lakes, of course, got a very big victory against Chiba Jets, but still remained the bottom team here in the B-League across all three conferences. ALVARK Tokyo will be at home on Saturday, same time as they host Fighting Eagles Nagoya. Well, you can see they're enjoying the moments, celebrating with their fans. But business not done yet for ALVARK Tokyo. They'll want to improve after last season's postseason defeat against Ruku Golden Kings at home. And remember, the team who wins the B-League Championship this year will go on to play in the FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. Champions of Japan, the Korean KBL, the Chinese Basketball Association, as well as the Philippine Basketball Association will all be matching up against whoever wins the Japanese B-League at the FIBA BCL Asia this summer. Well, we are going to have an interview very shortly with head coach Dinas Adamaitis. And you like to see that. This is what I love about Japanese basketball here in the B-League. You always get traveling fans, but right there, that is a special sight. You got Dolphins and ALVARK Tokyo fans sitting amongst each other and just enjoying the occasion. Let's listen now to Coach Dinas Adamaitis.
前半苦しみましたが、前半苦しみましたが、後半素晴らしい内容でした。何が違ったんでしょうか。
Defensive mistakes in the first half and probably just a couple mistakes, with this intensity and aggressive defense in the second half.
そうですね、もうシンプルにディフェンスだというふうに思います。前半は少しミスが目立ちましたけれども、後半は強度も上がりましたし、エナジーも高くディフェンスができましたので、そこが要因だというふうに思います。
ありがとうございます。最近の東京のスリーポイントのアテンプトが上がってきているように、個人的には感じているんですけれども、そのあたり何か変化というのはあるんでしょうか。
we start to make the shots.
まあシンプルに今入り出しているので、それがいい形になってるかなというところで
You
す。
know, Shuto Ando, he come back home, you know, he making shots. Shuto making a lot of shots now, so we playing more plays for the Shuto. You know?
安藤シュートが本当にホームに戻ってきてたくさんシュートを決めてくれましたので、自然と安藤のためのプレーっていうのも増えました。
ありがとうございます。今シーズンこの後チャンピオンシップに向けての意気込みなど教えてください。
Mindset right now to come back home and to prepare against FI Nagoya. We lost a game against them badly, so we need to be ready for the Saturday game.
そうですね、チャンピオンシップというよりは、まずは我々のホームに戻ってFE 名古屋さんを迎えますので、前回、かなり、ひどい負けを喫してしまっていますので、しっかりまずはチャンピオンシップというよりはまずは FE 名古屋さんのところにしっかり準備していきたいと思います。
ありがとうございました。次も素晴らしい試合を期待しています。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Well, there you heard from Dainan Sadamites, head coach of ALVARK Tokyo, really paying homage to Shuto Ando's shooting tonight. But, you know, this is a team effort. Everybody can step up on any given night. But the thing for ALVARK Tokyo, this is going to be the big question. When we get into the postseason, are they going to be able to match up with the best teams in the B.LEAGUE? Because as we saw last summer, when they met in the quarterfinals against Ruku Golden Kings, it was a very close 3-game series, but that defense, that stat just went out the window. ALVARK Tokyo fans making the long journey from the capital city of Tokyo, but they'll be going home knowing that they won tonight, and a very big win to say the least. Well, I imagine we are going to hear from Shuto Ando very soon. No doubt, probably the game's most valuable. Let's hear from him what he has to say.
ルークが一緒にいる安藤選手勝利おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
今日スリーポイント8分の7、87.5% でした。5% でした。どんな感覚でした？
そうですね。まあ試合の出だしからすごくいいタッチで打てたので、もう今日は積極的に打とうと思ってたんで、チームメイトが多分僕の気持ちが分かってくれたので、最後の方本当にたくさんパスをくれたので、チームメイトに感謝したいなと思います。
ありがとうございます。個人的にはその東京って結構ツーポイントインサイド傾向のチームかなと思うんですが、まあ、その中でスリーポイントがなかなか上がってこない、チームのスリーポイントがなかなか上がってこない現状に関して、そのシューターとしてどのように感じておらっしゃいますか？
そうですね、まあ、僕自身も今シーズンあんまり良くない中で、やっぱり僕のポジションは、スリーポイントを打たないといけないポジションなので、やっぱり、まあ、どれだけ外れようが、チームは僕に打たせてくれるので、やっぱり僕はそれに期待に応えないといけないっていうのはしっかりと分かっているので、まあ、徐々にですけど自分のシュートタッチが戻ってきているので、まあ、チームの助けになるようにもっともっと練習したいなと思います。
ありがとうございます。次も素晴らしいスリーポイントを期待しています。次の試合に向けて、ファンの皆さんにメッセージをお願いします。
はい、週末 FE 戦、アウェーではちょっと自分たちの不甲斐ない結果だったんで、久しぶりにホームに戻って、試合があるので、次はしっかりと負けないように自分たちのバスケットを40分間できるように頑張ります。応援の方お願いします。
ありがとうございます。週末までゆっくり休んでください。
はい。
Well, we'll get that translated for you very shortly. As mentioned, great time here for the ALVARK Tokyo fans making the journey. And this season, ALVARK Tokyo could very well be the first team ever to win 3 B.LEAGUE championships this season. Of course, indeed, it is going to be a very exciting season to find out who will be the 2024-25 B.LEAGUE championship champions this year. Well, there you can see Coach Scott Dennis and his players paying their respect and homage to the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins fans. And while they still have a chance of potentially making it to the B.LEAGUE playoffs, it is indeed going to be a very tough run. Because if Shimane Susanoo Magic, or excuse me, if Mikawa Seahorses win, it's going to now put them 5 games behind. Well, we'll take a look at some of the key highlights here from this game. It started out very good, but it was Shuto Ando that just really got things going on very early in this game. I mean, he was cooking left, right, and center. 3 consecutive offenses where he got the same play, same shot, and same result. And he didn't look like he was missing. Well, a big shout out to my colleague, Kazuya Nishikawa. We have the translation from the this is coming from Shuto Ando when we just interviewed him. From the beginning, he felt that his shot was great. So I felt that my shot, specifically 3-point shot, was going to be key tonight for this game. And he paid homage to his teammates as they gave him a lot of great passes and, of course, got those high percentage looks. And that's what helped him make the three-pointers so easily. But, of course, one thing he pays a lot of respect to his teammates was with all those passes, it gave him much more confidence to keep on shooting. But Shuto Ando, the final thing he did say was that there's still a lot of time to go in the season. It's going to be hard, no doubt about it, but we will have to win this season, no doubt. And his final message to the ALVARK Tokyo fans was thank you for making the journey here to Nagoya, and please keep supporting us. Well, very strong words there from Shuto Ando. As now we look at the rest of these highlights from this game. A terrific win, as we mentioned, for ALVARK Tokyo that does put them in pole position to get that home court advantage in the B.LEAGUE in the postseason. You got to ask the question, where did it go wrong for ALVARK Tokyo? Well, many areas really did affect this team, because they just didn't have the three-point shooting or the consistency specifically in the second half. Well, I think one thing's for sure, Nagoya is going to have to really ensure they win all their final games. Takeki Katsu that time making an early look in the first half. The consistency needs to be key now for Nagoya. They want to come up and get into the playoffs and have another crack at trying to make it to the B.LEAGUE Championship. Well, you know one thing's for sure, it's going to have to be consistency. Well, the second half definitely was in control in the early stages. ALVARK Tokyo building that 11-point lead. Ryan Rossiter, who was scoreless in the first half, really found himself. Got himself back in the game, no doubt about it. When you're as good a player as Ryan Rossiter, you know you're going to set those ball screens. You're going to get the switch. And at that point, you need to isolate. Well, there was the three of the quarter by Leonardo Mendel. That gave them the 6-point lead. And that was a three-pointer. This time coming from Sota Okura. Well, Okura silently came in this game, gave his impact, no doubt about it. But here was the comeback in the third quarter, led by Takumi Saito, the former Chiba Jets player. And Nagoya got it back to within 2 points. But then, where they probably should have tied the game up, they ended up going into the fourth quarter down by 7. And here's where it all went wrong. They just couldn't find the offensive prowess to really match up with ALVARK Tokyo. They're the #1 best defensive team here in the B.LEAGUE. Well, they lived up to their reputation, no doubt about it. They were terrific. They were brilliant. But it was that man. His three-point shooting just was the icing on the cake. This team is just so perfectly balanced. You got Leonardo Mendel, Seba Saiz. Well, here was Saiz now fighting for second chance points, and even though Rossiter missed it, the hand of God. The muchacho from Madrid, the tip-in. Well, there was the and one by defending B.LEAGUE champion with the Hiroshima Dragonflies last season, Isaiah Murphy. And even with Scott Etherton's efforts, Nagoya just couldn't get back. Here's a steal by Naoki Higashi. This cut it down to an 8-point ball game. It was the last glimmer of hope here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. They just couldn't get back in this one. And then Shuto Ando, the final icing on the cake. It was the Ayasu Mina side, the three in the corner. And that was 21 points for Ando. Ando-san was on fire. Well, there you have it. The game was all over at that point. A 13-point win for ALVARK Tokyo, the team chasing their third B.LEAGUE championship, led by that man, Shuto Ando. Well, we'll take a look at some of the game's key stats. Of course, impressively, 24 three-pointers combined between these two teams. 13 made by ALVARK Tokyo. Very impressive. 54%. Tokyo missing 7 free throws, though, 15 out of 22. Only 6 missed free throws for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. And in the end, Tokyo winning the rebound count 34 to 28. But slight margin improvement as Nagoya Diamond Dolphins did have more offensive boards. Both teams did finish with 13 turnovers, but you got to think the three-pointers, the extra field goal from inside the rainbow, and the better shooting percentage from the free throw line, that was a difference here tonight. Well, very shortly, we are going to take a look at the game's leading scorers to kind of review who performed very well and who stepped up big time. And I think one thing we're going to find, the key player matchup, which was between Keita Imamura and Shuto Ando. Definitely Ando won that battle tonight. Of course, both players, B.LEAGUE champions, have represented their clubs to the very highest. And that's why it was, built to be an exciting game. 21 tonight for Shuto Ando, 16 in total for Luke May. Zylan Cheatham and Steve Zach leading the rebound count. Zach only had 1 rebound in the second half. Because remember, he did actually indeed have 5 in the first half. What's interesting about Shuto Ando, started his career back in 2017 with Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. Spent 3 magnificent seasons playing for the Dolphins. Of course, his final season was in the COVID year when the season got canceled. Leonardo Mendo finishing with 15. Ryan Rossley with 13. Second top scorer for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins was Takaki Kato, followed up by 10 points from Isaiah Murphy. But unfortunately, it was too little, too late there for Nagoya to try and get back in this. Well, unfortunately, the player matchup, only 3 points coming from Keita Imamura, and those 3 points came from 3 free throws. And those were all in the first quarter. And that just wasn't enough. And you got to ask the question, had he converted more threes tonight, it could have been very different tonight here for Nagoya Diamond Dolphins. But every great shooter has an off night. 7 out of 8 tonight for Shuto Ando from the perimeter. Well, we're going to take a look at some of the key fixtures to look out for this weekend in the B-League. Remember, Nagoya Diamond Dolphins, they'll be hosting Shiga Lakes. While ALVARK Tokyo, they'll be hosting Fighting Eagles Nagoya. So in space of just 4 days, they play both teams from Nagoya here in the B-League. While Shiga tonight, they'll be taking on Kyoto Hanaris, and that's live in action, the final B-League game of this evening. Well, that's actually tomorrow, excuse my apologies, getting that one wrong. But there are your matchups. Shimane Susanoo Magic will take on Osaka Vesa. Chiba Jets will take on Kawasaki Brave Thunders. Yokohama Biko says Ibaraki Robots. Defending champions, Hiroshima Dragonflies will take on Seahorses Mikawa. Saga Ballooners against Sun Rocket Shibuya. Sendai 89ers against Akita Northern Happy Nets. Koshigai Alphas will take on Lavenga Hokkaido. We already talked about the games these two teams will play, while Kyoto Hananis will take on the B-League's #1, San and Neo Phoenix. While Nagasaki Velka will take on #2, Utsunomiya Brex. Well, the champions of 2023 will take on the very upcoming Gunma Crane Thunders. That game will be live in the home of Ruku Golden Kings at the Okinawa Arena. Fans watching live on B-League International, unfortunately, it is that time of the evening where we have to say, well, we have to make our departures. We'd like to thank you for joining us live here at the Dolphins Arena in Nagoya. But for now, it's good night, goodbye, and God bless from the Japanese B-League.